Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I like to start by having my guests introduce themselves and telling everybody a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Okay. I'm Bonnie. I am a crochet designer. I do mostly children's um, garments and accessories. Outside of that, am a stay-at-home mom of three in California. And I've got twin 11-year-old boys
Oh,
and a 3-year-old little girl.
I think you're the second person I've met here in the last week that's got twins. I'm like, holy smokes, so many twins.
Yeah. There's a few other crocheters I know who have twins. It seems pretty common.
They need the stress relief, right?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And so since you have an absolutely gorgeous Instagram feed and anybody who's new and hasn't taken a look at Bonnie's feed, it's absolutely like just chock full of absolutely gorgeous photos. And she gets these perfect pictures of kids wearing her stuff. And so she's here today to help us get that great photo of your little ones or whoever's helping you. Wearing your stuff because I know personally getting my 3 and 5-year-olds to cooperate for pictures is always a struggle.
Yeah, yeah. Toddlers aren't the best coworker.
Exactly.
Awesome. So I take pictures of mostly my own daughter, who's three, like I said. Um, and then I also babysit a little girl who's one, who I take pictures of every once in a while. And then some of my pictures are by other people, but they're also their moms that I've met through Instagram and stuff. So they're not professional photographers either, a lot of them. They're just, some of them are, but some of them are just moms taking pictures of their kids. So I'm not a professional. I want to start by saying that this is all just trial and error and practice with my own kids over the past few years. Um, I think that the number one things I have people say to me about my pictures are one, I can't get my kid to pose, and
Right.
two, I don't have a fancy camera. And I don't think that either of those things are things you need to get good pictures of your products on kids. Um, the so the biggest thing I think people get hung up on is that they're taking a portrait, and you're not taking a portrait. You're taking a product picture. You're taking a picture of a hat or a scarf or whatever it is your kid's wearing. And I think that when you kind of let go of you have to have this perfect smiling picture in order to have a good product picture, that it takes a little bit of the pressure off of you to, smile at mommy over and over again. Because you don't necessarily need it. Hat pictures are great when it's a profile. They can be looking at a doggy across the park and, happy doing that. And you get a nice picture of your hat and you can see the texture and everything. Um, so take that pressure off yourself to try and get those perfect portrait pictures. You do get them sometimes when, and that's awesome, especially as a mom. You're like, oh my gosh, look at this beautiful picture I have now. But the main thing you're looking for is pictures of your product.
Right.
And so I don't pose on them. I just I just let her have fun. I take her places that I know she's gonna find things she can do, find things that she can do that will hold her still for a little bit too, so that I can just snap pictures away. If you go through my feed, you'll actually see there's a lot of pictures she's not looking at me. Most of them she's doing something else. She's off in her own little world. And I think that when you can kind of let them just do their own thing and be toddlers, that one, it's less stressful on you. Two, it's less stressful on them because if they don't want to take pictures, you're not getting pictures.
Right. I was just
And
saying,
yeah, and happy kids make happy pictures, and people will react to it whether you've got a perfect portrait or not. Um, see. So, yeah, the easiest way that I have found with Autumn is to kind of interact with that kid's natural desire to get attention from mom,
Mhm.
and to let her, I always call them her ta-da moments, to
Okay.
let her do things and show off for me, because she'll get this genuine, like, look what I did smile on her face. And that's when I can get those really good facing the camera portraits. And so I really encourage her to climb rocks, or, point out the birds in the trees, or twirl around in circles, anything to kind of get her to then look to me for that, like, did you see it, mom? Because they're always really happy, and especially when you respond and you go, good job, or that's awesome, they'll get those smiles on their faces, and you can snap some really good pictures of them looking at the camera. um,
Well, and the
but
playing
yeah.
that desire that they have to look at you in those moments, and you're already doing the camera, it probably also helps taking the pressure off, and they're going to be more likely to do that on their own than you saying, look at mommy, right? And then, you get a more natural looking photo, and
Yeah.
without all the stress on both parties to perform or to get that perfect shot, right? And I think that's great.
Yeah, exactly. And if you make it fun for them to go out and do pictures with you, then they're going to want to do it more. Like Autumn knows now, after, several years of taking pictures of her, but she knows when I get that outfit out and I start getting her dressed, we're going to go for a walk. We're going to go climb rocks. We're going to go throw rocks in the creek. We're going to do fun things that she likes to do. And so it's not a fight to get her into the outfits or to put the hats on or anything like that, because she's like, oh, cool. Yeah, let's go do this.
Yeah, this is part of the deal, right? I get to do this, and mom puts this hat on me.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There are a few things that I've learned just through watching YouTube videos and joining photography Facebook groups that I suggest you do if you really want to get into this. It's just like crochet, just consume as much as you can about how to do it, and you will get better at it. But there are a few things you can do to kind of up your photographs that don't have anything to do with your toddler.
Okay.
And so, like, let's see, where did I put them? Some of it's editing. I suggest getting a editing app. The two most popular that I know about are Lightroom and Snapseed.
Hmm.
They're both free apps that you can put on your phone. I do all of my editing on my phone. I don't have a fancy program I use or anything. I just put my pictures on my phone and edit them right there in a free app. And they're both pretty, I think, easy to use and learn how to do. Um, for choosing outfits to wear, try and do colors that are contrasting to wherever you're taking them. If you're taking them to a green park, don't put them in green clothes, because you're going to get a really washed out picture. They're going to blend in and camouflage. I mean, unless you want them camouflaged.
You just want that hat
um,
to stand out really
yeah,
boldly.
right. Yeah, to cover them in green. The rest of it, yeah, exactly. um, yeah, so that those really stand out. Light colors photograph better than dark colors. So if you sell black hats or you want to design a black hat, it's cool, but for pictures, your stitches aren't going to show up as much. So you're going to get better pictures by doing the lighter colors. Um, take your kids out when the light is good, because then you don't have to try and force them into shadows or into better lighting situations. You want bright natural light, but you want it to be you don't want it to be harsh. So I usually go out with Autumn in the evening right before the sun goes down,
Right.
because with the sun behind the hills but out of the horizon, you get this really nice soft light that's natural, and you don't get things like the harsh shadows where you get double noses, like a shadow nose and the real nose and that stuff. Try to get their entire body into the picture, because cut off limbs take away from your picture, um, unless you're doing close-ups and stuff, which is fine. Um, Try and take them places where the background is pretty everywhere. It can be hard to do because sometimes you have to just go out into your backyard or whatever you have. But I try and go to the park with Autumn. We have a very cute little town square with little old-fashioned buildings that I take her to and stuff. So then no matter where my toddler decides to go, my background is ready to go with her. And I don't have to try and cut out, a dog over here or something. Well, you do sometimes, but you can kind of edit them out sometimes. And then straightening horizons in editing makes a huge difference. When I first learned that was like a technique in photography, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. And all I did was straighten it. So just get that horizon straight in the background, and that will make your pictures look a lot more professional.
Definitely. I know that was one of the things that like changed my photo game personally, because when I first learned, I was just like, I'm being artistic, right? And I'm like taking my camera pictures like on an angle, and my husband's like, that looks like trash. Like, what are you doing? And so he's way better with photography than I am. And so he's like, okay, always get the horizon straight. And so since then, I'm like, wow, everything looks so much better. And also
Yeah.
look like I walk around with a peg leg, right? Like where
Yeah.
everything's lopsided. So is that's definitely a big one that a lot of people just don't realize can make
Right.
a big difference with something so
Mhm. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I just try and set her up so that, if I have the right light and I have a pretty setting and I'm, far enough away that I'm getting these pictures that I can crop as much as I need to, then it just makes it a lot easier to just kind of let her go and just get the pictures I can, and then come home and edit and do the horizons and lighting, changing your lighting and your white balance and stuff. A lot of that comes with practice too. So yeah.
And now imagine that like not being rushed for time is also plays a big factor in keeping it a low stress, more fun
Mhm.
photo shoot for
Mhm.
both you and your child, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, anything you can do to make it easy on yourself and on the toddler is like, she has a snack before we go out, like always. She goes to bed pretty late, so when we go out right before the sun goes down, it's she's not too tired. So I try and avoid tired times to take pictures of her. Um, yeah, yeah, just anything you can do to make it relaxing and fun is going to get you better pictures.
Definitely. It's like the what's it, my friend called it? The mom standby is the snack pockets. You always have a pocket filled with snacks. So if things get really rough, you can bribe them.
You're right. Yes, bribes are excellent.
Like there's no shaming here. Just
Nope.
give them what they want and you're gonna get
Yeah, whatever makes them happy.
your right. Now, how do you deal with it? Like you say you've done everything, all your tips, things are you've set yourself up for success, and then you get there and the toddler just not cooperating, they're flat out having a tantrum. What do you do then?
I think just as it goes with anything you do with a toddler, sometimes you just kind of have to manage your expectations a little bit and just go, I might not get this today. It's not going to happen. And just going back to you'd never want to make it something they hate to do, because then you're never going to get pictures of them. So if they're just not having it, a lot of times, and it happens to me quite often, she's just not going to cooperate with me. And I'll just go home and we'll try again the next day or another day. And there's not much else you can do, really. They're the boss when it comes to that situation.
And then so you said that you don't need a fancy camera or anything to take your pictures. So you do all of your photo shoots on your phone then?
I don't. I do have a DSLR camera that I use, but I sometimes take them on my phone. And I've honestly never had anybody go, hey, you took that on your phone this time. I think that once you really develop an eye for it and you know how to get the pictures you want to get, that the equipment can help, but that you can get just as good pictures with your phone as you do with a fancy camera, especially like as the phone's cameras keeps getting better and better and better. I have a pro setting on my phone where I can actually go in and change all the same settings I can change on my fancy camera. So I can get the same kind of pictures if I really want to. And then a lot of them have nice settings you can use, like sports settings for your toddler just won't hold still that day. You can up the shutters, the phone will automatically up the shutter speed to get clearer pictures, and like the blurry background features that a lot of phones have that really pop your subject up front. So you can do all those things with a fancy phone or camera, but you can do it with your phone too. And I think just developing your eye and practicing is all you need to do.
That's awesome. And now, is there any special tricks for, like you said, with your toddler, they just keep moving? Because I know that sometimes, you're doing everything you can, but the pictures just always come up blurry. Do you have any tips for that?
Um, Usually if I can't get Autumn to hold still, I have to get her attention in a different way. Like I'll take her down to the creek a lot because I can get her to stop and throw rocks into the creek. And just stuff like that. If you're out in your lawn and you've got a lot of leaves, tell them to throw the leaves up in the air so that they hold still long enough to get that blurry. If they really, really won't hold still, your best bet is to up your shutter speed if you're on a camera where you can do that, or to switch to a sports mode on your phone, because usually it will take that picture faster and will reduce that blur.
And that's awesome. I appreciate that, because I know that when I'm trying to take pictures of my kids, like my son specifically, never stops moving. I swear, it's just like
Mhm.
constantly a blur, and to get a picture of him is always a struggle. And I know that that's
Yeah,
the thing when you're trying to figure out how to take these pictures that where they look good and you get as much detail as possible. But I mean, they're little, they're born to squirm, right? They're going to keep moving, and how do you get that clean still photo, right?
yeah, yeah. And I think encouraging your kids to be doing something, because if you're selling a product or you're selling a design, the business coaches will always say like you're filling a need, right?
Right.
And I think that you can show that need being filled in ways that entertain your kids. Like if you've got gloves, have them build a snowman. If you've got a scarf, let's throw the leaves. If you're doing a cup cozy, give them some lemonade or a drink they really like that they'll sit and drink for a little bit to get them to just kind of slow down enough to get that picture and to show off your product in a way that's showing your customers what it's going to do for them.
And that's excellent advice, right? Because you're also getting those lifestyle photos and saying, this is the need my product fills, and
Hmm.
look how happy my kid is doing this. You
Yeah,
know, chug back chocolate milk, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And it makes your kid happy, makes you happy, and it eventually makes the customer happy too. And I think that's an all-around win for everybody.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And so we wanted to play a game tonight, and we were going to play What Would You Rather? Is that right? That's what we discussed.
Yeah, that
My
sounds good.
memory is not as good as it used to be. I swear, kids did not help that situation for me at all.
No, mom brain, yeah.
All right. So anybody who's watching, you can feel free to play along with Bonnie and I. I'm going to Gosh, I'm going to ask her some questions about what she would rather do, crochet edition. And if you would like to answer, just put your answer in the comments box below, because we'd love uh, to hear your answers as well. And so our first question is, would you rather crochet or knit?
Crochet. I don't know how to knit, so I'll crochet.
Would you rather do a quick and easy pattern or a longer pattern that teaches you something new?
Hmm. I like patterns that teach me something new. So I think I'll go with the long pattern. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like learning something new. I feel like for me, it depends on the mood, right? Because sometimes you just need that quick and easy win, especially if you're, you're stressed out from a long day with the kids or whatever. And then other times it's like you just you yearn to learn something, right? And that
Right.
kind of mastering something new. Would you rather crochet a king size blanket or a small blanket using only black yarn?
The black yarn blanket. I don't like doing blankets. That's probably one of my least favorite projects to do. And the only time I've ever crocheted a blanket because I really wanted to was one for my daughter, and I made it teeny tiny. And then all the other times were me reluctantly saying, yeah, I guess, to family.
Would you rather use store-bought yarn or hand-dyed or indie dyed yarn?
I think I would like indie dyed yarn. I actually just recently got my first hand dyed yarn, and I loved it, and I already bought more from the dyer. Um, Aquarius Makes is who I've been getting it from, and I'm obsessed, and I've started following more dyers now. So yeah, I'll go for indie dyed.
It is a steep, steep hill once you start falling down.
That's what everybody keeps telling me, and it's so far it's true.
And so I see comments are coming in. One of which is I see Amber Bliss. This says Buddha blankets too, and lots of people are agreeing with the hand dyed yarn.
Yeah, yeah, Aquarius Make.
And Amber's also praising Fatima's yarns as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, she does make some really beautiful stuff. For our next question, okay, would you rather have to hide your yarn from your partner forever or share your stash with them?
I guess I'll share it because I feel like if I had to hide it, there would be a limit to how much I could have. But if I'm sharing it, I just get more and more and more. So then it's not like I'm sharing.
That's right. You just start needing, I need to have more because there's two of us consuming it all.
Exactly.
That's smart thinking. All right. So would you rather do a small project or a large project? Just
Hmm. I think I like small projects. Um, I like clothes, but in my daughter's size. So then I kind of get both worlds. I get garments, but they're little garments.
Well, it's like I'm testing a garment for myself right now, and I'm like, oh gosh, the last garment I made was for my daughter when she was 2, and I'm like, this is taking me a way longer than last. It's like way back
Much
to
more.
small projects.
Yeah.
So my husband made this question up, and I keep it only because it's ridiculous and it's kind of funny, and I like people's response to it. So just know that it's a little bit of a weird one.
Okay.
Would you rather crochet while getting your teeth done at the dentist or while having your legs waxed? And yes, my husband came up with this question.
Well, I don't want to do either of those things, but I guess getting my legs waxed, I feel like it'd be really hard to crochet around the dentist. So
All right, we have somebody who says they'd rather do it while they're getting their teeth done, and that is the first one we've had. And I think I think if I could figure it out where I could keep crocheting while getting my teeth done, I think I would do the teeth only because I would need the distraction. But if I'm being more practical, I have to go with the legs wax too.
yeah. That's
At
a
least
good idea to distract yourself.
pardon?
That's a good idea to distract yourself, though, because it's really uncomfortable to go to the dentist.
Well, that, especially if it's like a longer procedure, you just feel like you're just laying there forever and you're just like, is it over yet? Come on. Um, would you rather watch a YouTube tutorial or read a written or photo tutorial to learn something new?
To learn something new, I guess a YouTube video. Just I feel like I pick it up faster when I see it than when I read it.
Um, someone said worse than getting your legs waxed.
I don't know. I've never had my legs waxed. Maybe it is really bad.
Well, it's easier than other parts you can get waxed. So, uh, um, would you rather have an endless supply of yarn or never have to weave your ends in again?
Oh, an endless supply of yarn. Yeah, that's easy. Give me all the yarn.
It's like that, what is it, Alexa weaving my ends? If that was,
Oh, yeah.
um, would you rather be stuck on a deserted island without your hook or without your yarn?
Without my hook, because I could make a hook pretty quickly, I feel like. Well, not quickly, but and then it's only once. If I have to like find something to make yarn, that seems like it'd be a lot harder.
So I actually interviewed somebody, one of my first interviews, and she had taught everybody how to make their own yarn. And so far, she's the only person that has said she'd rather be without her yarn because she likes the challenge of figuring out how to make her own yarn on the island.
Yeah. Maybe you can find a new fiber that will be a hit once you get rescued. You can disrupt the industry.
A lot of people are saying they'd go without their hook. I mean, ultimately, if you were really, really, really desperate, you finger crochet. So, I mean,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have one, right? As long as you've got your fingers. Um, if you only had to choose one type of yarn, would you rather only have solid colored yarn or variegated yarn?
Solid. I actually don't even use variegated very often. I think the indie dyed yarn might make that change a little bit, but yeah, I'd rather have solids.
Somebody said, be sure the island has sheep.
Yeah, there you go.
Wherever that
That's
deserted
true.
island is, that's the one I want to be on. In fact, I will move there and it will no longer be deserted.
Yep, there we go.
Would you rather always have to use a color that you hate or always have to use a yarn fiber that you hate?
A color that I hate. Yeah. Because you can get really, really nice yarn that still does really nice things with drape and all that. And also, I'm kind of allergic to wool. So if it was like really like 100% really scratchy wool, that would be horrible to have to do all the time.
Yeah, I always say life's too short for scratchy yarn. So
Yes, that's true.
good stuff. Let me see. Oh, and Amber says that she would rather use a color she hated. Oh, and somebody else says
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And would you rather watch Netflix or listen to a podcast while working on a project?
Hmm. Um, Netflix, I think. Yeah. I listen to podcasts a lot, but I watch Netflix a lot more. So I'll go with Netflix.
Do you have any TV recommendations right now on Netflix?
Um, no, I watch a lot of old stuff. Like I've been watching Criminal Minds.
I love that.
Um, yeah, I'm kind of a obsessed with crime shows. I watch a lot of that stuff. That's the kind of podcast I listen to also. So
Would you rather weave in 200 ends in a project, or sew on all of the limbs for 100 amigurumi octopus, or octopi is the singular, I guess. Or
I will do the ends. I do not want to do amigurumi.
So the amigurumi octopus project seems to be like one of those projects that once if you do one, you're just like, no, no, no more.
Yeah, never, ever again.
Yeah, they hate sewing in all the limbs. Would you rather, if again in one of these situations where you could only use one or the other forever, would you rather only crochet with thread or chunky yarn?
Thread. I'll
Really?
do thread. Yeah. I made my first piece of jewelry recently, and so I think I just make all the jewelry.
That's awesome because you could just have your quick projects and use up all your yarn at the same time.
Yeah.
Would you rather crochet with a cheap hook or a cheap yarn?
Cheap hook. Yeah. Because you can still have a really, really nice project even if you're using a cheap hook. But if you have cheap yarn, you're kind of just stuck.
Right. You can make adjustments to the hooks too, right? If you have like a steely, you can get the handles or make a handle or something. But
Yeah,
if the
right.
yarn's not great, the yarn's not great. There's not a whole lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather never use your favorite 5 yarns again, or only use your favorite 5 yarns for the rest of your life, but you could never, ever use another new yarn?
That's a hard one.
Right?
Um, I guess I will never use my favorite again, so I can try new stuff.
So yeah, that's how everybody so far has answered that question that way.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be hard to only use 5 kinds of yarn forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd get bored really quick.
hmm And be like, oh, I used to like this. Does it change though if you hate it after using it for so long? If it's not your favorite anymore?
I don't think I thought that far in the questioning process. I was just like, this would be really hard. I don't even know if I could make a decision on this. But ultimately, it would come down to you have to keep trying the new stuff because you just get tired of the old stuff and you just be really have a lot of ill feelings towards everybody who has all the yarn.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I have a problem and I need to feed it with new yarn. So
yeah. Ashley's not going to be honest about her favorites.
let me see. Uh, where would you rather crochet? In a room full of screaming children, or in a room where a bunch of people are yelling out random numbers?
Hmm, that's hard. Um, I think in the room with people yelling random numbers because feel like I could drown them out easier than I can children.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's a hard one.
Well, it is, especially like Amber says numbers. But for me, I think I would choose the kids because I'm surrounded with screaming kids all day long. And Amber says she doesn't like kids. Isn't Topaz sitting with you right now, Amber? But anyways, if I'm counting and there are people like screaming out numbers, like my husband does, like I'll be counting and he'll be like 36, 82, 15, and like, come on. So I think I'd be better at the screaming kids because, I'm a little too used to that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you rather do easy projects but with constant deadlines or difficult projects with no deadline?
Easy with the deadline.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Because yeah. Just do it and then move on.
Amber said she walked away for a second. Would you rather have more time to crochet or more money for yarn?
More time. Because if I crochet a lot, then maybe I sell it and I just make more money for those things. And then I get both.
Smart.
Right?
The one thing I will say that I have learned asking these kind of questions in some of the games is that crocheters are very good at finding loopholes, right? So
Yeah.
like, well, you can only have one or the other. Well, if I do this one, I can actually technically still get the other one as long as I do X, Y, and Z. And
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's great. But yeah, and what everyone always says more time to crochet again because they're like, this can keep doing this. I can get so let's start with the one. We're all
No
at
deadline. Yeah.
So that was all. Those are all of my questions. Did anybody have any questions for Bonnie? We'll give them a second because I know that there's a bit of a delay. My husband and I were playing with the live earlier because he was trying to get this and figured out that there's like a 10 to 12 second delay sometimes. And we're like, oh, we didn't realize that before. And we were kind of question.
I haven't done very many lives, so I don't know. I know that on Facebook when I watch lives, it usually takes people a while to get my comments if I comment on their live. So it's interesting.
I always, at first, I honestly just figured it's because I type slow as more. So it's just like, this is taking me forever to type, and then they're going to read it and be like, why did this take so long?
Yeah. I always like, I don't know how they realize what I was talking about when it comes so late. I feel like people would, if I was doing a live and something showed up that much later, I'd be like, wait, what are you asking me? Like I'd forget what I was talking about.
Yeah, my very first live video I ever did was by myself on my in my Facebook group, and I was so nervous. And people were asking me questions, and I was getting like really confused with the questions coming in and trying to not look like an idiot on the screen. And people are asking questions. I'm like, wait, did I say that? When did I say that? Oh my gosh! And I just like, I'm never doing this again.
That would be me. I'd be so nervous to do it by myself. It's much easier when there's somebody else to talk to.
So I'm not the only one laughing at myself, which is always great because then I don't look so crazy. Amber has a question. She said, what is your favorite design that you've created, Bonnie?
My favorite that I've created? I think that my skirt that's about to come out is my favorite. My willow skirt. That's a little button front skirt. I'm really excited about that one, and I've loved the way it looks from everybody who's made it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the willow skirt.
Awesome. And then Hannah Spalding, 07. What is your favorite brand of yarn?
My favorite brand. I use a lot of paint box yarns.
Okay.
From Love Crochet. I'm pretty obsessed with the Lion brand Kobu right now. And then also pretty obsessed with the hand dyed from Aquarius make. So, yeah.
So I have a whole bunch of stash because it's been hard to find here in Canada. We just got it a little while ago. And so when I first saw it, I just grabbed a whole bunch of it. And so it's sitting on my shelf. And I'm like, I need to find what I'm going to do with this. But still sitting there.
Yeah. But you have it, and when you do get an idea, that's what's important.
If I ever see a new Lion brand yarn, I jump on that faster than like a hungry cat on a bowl of milk. Like I'm just like,
that's your favorite. Yeah.
I've been drooling over it in everybody's feeds for long enough. I now have access to this.
Is it hard to find Lion Brand in Canada?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting a lot better. But for the longest time, we only had like maybe 3 of their lines, maybe 4 here. But starting probably February, we started to see a lot more. And so that's great because you know, we don't have to pay kind of shipping and duty um, and the exchange rate to get it here. So it's really great to see it here.
Oh, that's good. That's exciting.
Yes. I know. I tell my husband, he doesn't get it. So
Yeah. My husband doesn't get it either.
whatever.
Cool. Okay.
And does anybody have any more questions for Bonnie? Actually, I do have a question. How long have you been doing the Woodland Stitchcraft? Like, how long have you been doing that?
Um, I've had the name for probably 4 years now. But the designing it's been 3 years, I think, since I started designing. So I haven't been on very long.
Well, it doesn't matter. Your designs are gorgeous. Your pictures pop up on my feed all the time. You know, you've got
Thank you.
Your daughter's adorable. I love your pictures. And I'm just like, gosh, I'm going to get a picture of my daughter like this one day where she looks like she's still for a minute.
Yeah. Just continuous shooting. Take a million pictures. That's what I do.
Anytime I get my daughter to take a picture, her like tongue is hanging out, or deliberately, or she's doing something crazy. And I just go with it. Like there's a picture of us from last week on today's Friday, Monday on the feed, and that was like the closest we got, and it's because I'm holding her because she wanted to be in the picture by herself. I was like, "Come on, picture with mom," and she's like, "Mom." But she had to wear my shawl. She had to wear it. You know, that was the only way.
Yeah, keep encouraging that, and then be like, "Look, I made you something else."
Well, if anybody has any other questions, let us know. If not, then I will let Bonnie go and enjoy the rest of her evening with her adorable little ones. Was it today I saw your picture you posted? Is that the skirt? There's a little girl with a skirt.
Today I posted a halter top. That's a picture that I got from somebody else. Yeah, because I used to send most of my designs out to other people because I just wasn't very good at the pictures. Until I got a little bit better at it, and then I started taking them myself mostly. So that one was a halter top that I sent off to somebody else, and she did a little Coca-Cola photo shoot with it.
So cute.
Yeah.
Oh, Amber said that the picture was cute. Thank you, Amber. It's definitely one of those where I'm just like, this is so good. I'm so happy with it.
Yeah, it's exciting when you get those ones.
Yeah. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I will let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you so, so much for joining me tonight and sharing your tips for photos with us. I appreciate it. And if anybody's not already following Bonnie, please take a look at her Instagram feed and give her a follow. She has an absolutely beautiful feed, and I'm very forward to giving her that follow.
Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Thank you again.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye, everyone.